Homework checker for Wednesday. A newborn whale weighed 127 pounds. Her mother weighed 14 times as much. How much did the mother whale weigh? So, for this, we're thinking about how are we going to solve this problem? Is it addition, subtraction, multiplication, or division? Looking at our answers, most of those are a lot bigger than our two factors that we have. I said the word factors, which means we're going to multiply. So I'm going to show you how to multiply using both methods. If you want to use traditional, that's available. If you want to use area model, that's also available for you. Okay? So I'm going to start with area model. So I expanded my factors and drew out my squares for area model. And now I'm going to make my numbers meet and multiply them together. So the first row, 100 times 10, 20 times 10, 7 times 10. Second row, 100 times 4, 20 times 4, 7 times 4. So I'm going to start with the ones that I know. Let's start with 7 times 4. That's 28. 7 times 10, 70. 20 times 4. 2 times 4 is 8 with a 0 behind it. 20 times 10, cover up the zeros. 2 times 1 is 2. 2 zeros. 100 times 4 is 400. 100 times 10, cover up the zeros. 1 times 1 is 1. 1, 2, 3 zeros. 1, 2, 3 zeros. So now I can add these numbers. Well, I'm going to add the ones that I can expand really easily. 1,000 plus 200 plus 28 equals 1,228. Now I'm going to add 400 to that. 8 plus 0 is 8. 2 plus 0 is 2. 4 plus 2 is 6. 1 plus 0 is 1. Now I'm going to add my 80. And I'm going to bring this number down to make my adding clear. 8 plus 0 is 8. 8 plus 2, 8, 9, 10. Carry my 1. 6 plus 1 is 7. Bring down my 1 plus 0. Now I'm adding 70. 8 plus 0, 7 plus 0, 7 plus 0, 1 plus 0. So my final product is 1,778. Now I'm going to show you how to solve that traditionally, which is actually all the same things we did here. It just looks a little bit different. So 7 times 4, 28. Notice I did that here. Carry my 2. 4 times 2 is 8, plus 2, 9, 10. Keep my 0, carry my 1. 4 times 1 is 4, plus 1 is 5. Now I cross out everything I don't need and drop down to the next line and add my 0. Now I'm multiplying by my tens. 1 times 7, 7. 2 times 1 is 2. 1 times 1 is 1. Now add those together. 8 plus 0 is 8. 7 plus 0 is 7. 5 plus 2 is 7. 1 plus 0 is 1. 1,778. Best answer is D. Make sure you're showing your work. Number 2, the supply store sold 770 pencils in 7 days. Estimate the number sold each day. So when it's saying estimate, it means take 770 divided by 7 and find a compatible number. Well, believe it or not, 77 is already a compatible number. So I cover up that 0. What times 7 gets me 77? It's 11. Then I add my 0 back. 110 times 7 equals 770. So A is my best answer. Alright, next one is kind of a tricky brain buster, but I know you're going to work on solving it. A number was divided by 10. The quotient was 7. What was the number that was the dividend? So, we have a mystery. We are trying to figure out our dividend. Dun, dun, dun. The divisor is 10. The quotient is 70. So you have clues here of what you can do with those numbers to get that dividend. Let's think about here. If we multiplied 110 times 7, 0 times 7 is 0, 7 times 1 is 7, 7 times 1 is 7, we get our dividend. So we must multiply. 7 times 10 is 70. Best answer, B. Notice how you can use the opposite of division to solve these problems. Next question. Jason needs 83 hot dog buns for the picnic. There are 9 in each package. How many packages does he need to buy? So, we are talking about hot dog buns here, and they're divided up into equal groups. 9 in each group. So we have to divide to figure out how many packages they need to buy. This is a real life word problem, right? You're about to have a party. You need to buy some hot dog buns. We need to figure out how many packages they need. So we're going to divide. So you can do this one of two ways. You can do traditional or partial quotients. Whoop, 83. So I'm going to show you traditional. So you ask yourself, how many times can 9 go into 8? That can go in 0 times. So we move over to the next place value. How many times can 9 go into 83? Well, you have to think. How many times can it go in without going over? 9 times. Subtract that out. 9 times 9 is 81. And then we subtract. 3 minus 1 is 2. 8 minus 8 is 0. Remainder of 2. So, when we look at this, we think to ourselves, there's 9 in each package, but if this remainder of 2 is here, that means 2 people aren't going to get hot dogs. So that means they're going to have to add another package. So this person actually needs 10 packages to make sure everybody can be well fed. If we were to do partial quotients, you could do this multiple ways. This is 83. You can multiply 9 by 9 and get 81 again. Subtract it out. Okay, and that would be 9 remainder of 2. Now remember, 2 people aren't going to get hot dogs. That can't happen, so we got to buy another package. So the best answer is D, 10 packages, because we have to know with that remainder that people are going to be missing out. We can't have that. Everybody wants to eat hot dogs. All right, next questions are division problems. So you can solve these multiple ways. You can solve them partial quotients, or you can solve them traditionally. If you're going to solve them partial quotients, you'll need to create a little cheat sheet right now. And notice my pattern. Woo, my pattern is just repeating. Okay. And my divisor is 5, so this is how I would be solving it if I were doing partial quotients. And you're thinking about how many times can 5 go into 345? And as a mathematician, I'm observing that 345 ends in a 5. And I know every multiple of 5 ends in a 5 or 0 as well. So that tells me right off the bat that there is going to be no remainder. So I'm going to already just eliminate B, because there's not going to be a remainder because this ends in a 5. So I'm going to fill out my cheat sheet. Notice it's just a little pattern repeating. Multiplying these out, 250, 500. And I asked myself, how many times can 5 go into 345? And I'm going to do this on a separate sheet because I need some more room. Alright, so 5 divided by 345. And if you use your cheat sheet, that's not a problem. So if I use this, I think, okay, how many groups can I take out? Well, I can take out 50 groups of 5, which equals 250, and subtract that out. Got to borrow here. 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9. 2 minus 2 is 0. So then I ask myself, well, how many times can 5 go into 95? Well, I know it can go in at least 10 times. 10 times 5 is 50. Subtract that out. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. And now we have a quick fact. How many times can 5 go into 45? 9 times. Subtract that out. And yay, get my zeros. Now I add my sidebar numbers. 50 plus 10 is 60. Plus 9 is 69. Okay, let's show this traditionally for the folks at home that did traditional method. Maybe a little bit faster. So you cover up all your place values. Can 5 go into 3? Nope, too small. Can 5 go into 34? Yes, it can. 6 times. 6 times 5 is 30. Subtract that out, you get 4. Bring down your 5. How many times can 5 go into 45? 9 times. Subtract that out, and you get your quotient. Best answer is D. Woohoo! Next question. 182 divided by 6. So, same thing if you're doing partial quotients. You can create your little cheat sheet here. And if this method works for you, then that's what you're doing. Do what you know best. Do what you feel comfortable solving. It might be different from what your parents might know, and that's okay. You might want to teach them or have them watch this video a couple times, and they might catch on. But you do what works best for you. So, you're asking yourselves, how many times can 6 go into 182? And so if you're solving partial quotients, I'm going to have a little bit more space over here because it's kind of small. So I look over here and I look for which one of these is closest to 182 without going over. 20 groups of 6s. So I'm going to take 20 groups of 6, which is 120, and subtract that out. 2 minus 0 is 2. 8 minus 2, 7, 6. 1 minus 1 is 0. How many times can 6 go into 62? If you use your cheat sheet, it can go in 10 times. 10 times 6 is 60. Subtract that out and you get, not 2, 6. Not 6, 2. Goodness gracious, Miss Ryan. 6 cannot go into 2 because if I have 2, I can't pass that out into 6 equal groups. So, we add our sidebar numbers. 20 plus 10 is 30. This is what's left over, so it's our remainder of 2. So that's partial quotients. Let's do traditional. So, cover up all your place values. Can 6 go into 1? No. Can 6 go into 18? Yes, 3 times. 6 times 3 is 18. Subtract that out. Bring down your 2. Can 6 go into 2? Nope, it can't go in 0 times, so you can subtract it, and that's going to be your remainder of 2. So your best answer is C, 30 remainder 2. Social studies. Who financed the Jamestown settlement? So this means who got the money for people to go? Was it A, King James, B, England, C, Virginia Company of London? So who was in charge of going out and getting the money to finance this settlement? It was not King James. It was not England. It was the people who were in the Virginia Company of London. They had to go get stockholders for this trip. Number 2, the Jamestown settlers traveled across this body of water to reach North America. There was a big body of water. It was an ocean. So we can eliminate B, James River. Now, which ocean was it? Pacific Ocean or Atlantic Ocean? Well, it's where the sun rises, and it's where it says AM. That is Atlantic Ocean. Number 3, which was not a hardship faced by the Jamestown settlers in their first year? So they faced a lot of hardships, but one of these was not. A, They lacked people with survival skills. Well, that was a hardship. B, they were attacked by the Indians. Well, that was not a hardship when they first arrived. So I'm going to put a maybe dot there. We eliminate A, maybe dot for B. C, they lacked safe drinking water. Well, that was a hardship. They thought it was fresh, but it was not fresh. So B is the best answer. All right, make sure you're showing your work for all these problems.